Okay, Alex, so good news. I've met the no, I can't help people. We had some constructive talks, so I think we're okay to. I think we're good to go. Hey, Alex, again, just about yes, how can I help? I think we need to get going now because I'm getting a lot of people asking thousands, tens of thousands of messages a day. So let me know when you can record. Hey, Alex, don't know if you're getting these messages. It's really starting to the demand. Sorry, that one got interrupted for some reason. The demand now is kind of insane. I've had people knocking on my door, begging. I'm getting emails that are just pages and pages of questions. I know that there's a petition to get yes, how can I help back, and that's had just refreshing the page, more than 40 million signatures now. So they're going to debate it in the House of Commons next week. So I think we need to put something out. Alex, I've accidentally put a dog filter on my TikTok. Don't know if you saw the message that went around, but someone's emailed threatening to burn impatiens headquarters down unless we release a yes, how can I help in the next 7 days. So we've obviously forwarded it to the police and stuff, but I still think now the situation is fairly serious. Let's get them in the can. I think at this point, Alex, just put aside any other work, disregard anything else you've got to do, and let's just go full into production of yes, how can I help? Because our lives are not going to be worth living otherwise. Alex!
Welcome back to Van. Welcome back to yes, how can I help? You will remember that in this series, I attempted to beat back the endless tide of chat programs and other artificial intelligences by, a long time ago now, a year ago, I absorbed all of the information available to mankind, and I'm using it to satisfy people's questions and queries and all sorts of problems on this series. We got a certain way into it, we did about 30 odd episodes, and then I became aware of an enemy faction, an organisation calling itself No, I Can't Help, or was it Won't Help?
No, I can't help.
It was Can't Help. They're bad guys anyway. Almost on this very spot, one of them drenched me with water in a notorious incident. They have spies everywhere. We've had to suspend operations for a couple of months because of threats from that organisation, but I'm delighted to say I'm now back, and for the foreseeable future I will again be able to field your queries. I'm going to ask Alex to put the traditional 10 minutes on the clock. Yes, of course. Well, you don't normally remember it week to week. There's no way you could have remembered it after a 2-month hiatus. You aren't to be blamed for that, Alex.
Consider it. 10 minutes.
Well, it's my job to consider things. Yes. 10 minutes on the clock, and no general theme this time. This is just a sort of catch up. I know that some of you have been sitting on these queries, on these worries for months, so I'm glad to be back. And the first question back is, and this person says, welcome back, Mark and Alex, have been absolutely lost without your weekly guidance with regards to questions in the world. At what point can we use the preface, as the old saying goes, in front of first generation memes? For instance, as the old saying goes, I can has cheeseburger. I think the pace of change is now so quick. Not just memes, but discourse and technology in general are so quick that basically you should be able to say, as the old saying goes, about any saying, including one that rope is true, not transport though. Well, I suppose you can transport yourself to death by using a rope.
What? Oh my God!
We've been away for a while. Let's focus on the question at hand. So I think basically you are able to say, as the old saying goes, in front of any saying, as long as you do it with enough confidence. For example, as the old saying goes, that question was as easy as shit in a shoe. What's the best sandwich? Alternatively, what is the best sandwich you've ever eaten, and what was in it? I can help
Probably
with this.
prawn.
It's Alex, please stop trying to preempt my answers. Also, it's not prawns actually. It's the best sandwich I've ever had is a recurring feature in my life. There's a bar in Melbourne that stays open very, very late at night, just around the corner from the venue that I performed at in the Melbourne Comedy Festival just now, and it sells a toasted chicken sandwich with sort of little chives or something in. Not only is it extremely delicious, but you can still get it at midnight, at 1 in the morning, at times when it's quite difficult to get food. I'm only allowing myself one of these sandwiches per festival, per year, really, maybe two. A bit like Charlie with the squares of chocolate. So it's a very, very slow burn treat. If you're in Melbourne, you probably will be able to locate this bar. How many bees are there? Now, this has been hard. I tend
You've
to
been counting.
Yeah, I take these questions on the whole, just as they come, on the hoof. But occasionally, I do a little bit of reading around the subject, and in this case, I have embarked on the project to count all of the bees in the world. It's very difficult because you don't know whether it's a new bee that you're looking at or one that you've already seen. Many bees look alike, but I think, it's very difficult to be exact, but I think there's 312,000 bees exactly, and it was good that it was a round number. But as I say, I might have missed a couple, and also there's bees being, I don't know how often bees are born. 312,000 bees.
There's so many more bees.
Well, I've only had a week to count the fucking things, Alex. I'm sure there's loads more bees out there, but I defy anyone watching this to prove there's more than 312,000 bees. And I mean prove it. So I'd need a picture of each bee and its name. And they've all got to be different bees. You might think there's many more bees than that, but how do you know it isn't just a squadron of bees that are basically doing each other's jobs, rotating? Do you think making someone send increasingly cheeky texts and then disqualifying them on a technicality should be considered a crime against humanity? No, crime against humanity is a very strong phrase. I think that, we all know what this refers to. A shrubbery, a return of Alex's foliage problems.
Oh, so we can talk about shrubbery, we can't talk about rope.
That's right, yes. I don't think that Taskmaster and the perpetrators of this trick should be considered criminals against humanity. I do think that Taskmaster, the show, should have been discontinued after the offence. I think that Alex and Greg probably should be in prison now, particularly Alex. But as I say, I wouldn't want to see them undergo the fullest punishment possible. Obviously, the Court of Human Rights in The Hague, is it The Hague or Geneva? Anyway, wherever they do the old human rights thing, they have the potential to mete out very harsh punishments indeed. And I don't think I'd want to see anyone connected with Taskmaster serve lifetime in jail. As I say, just a few years. Also, if I just got a large amount of money as compensation, that also would have been acceptable.
Do you think we'd be good for the format if we got an American on, just to mix it up? If we did like 17 seasons worth of Yes, How Can I Help?
If we got an American on?
Yeah, they just got Jason Muzitz.
Oh, I see what you mean. Yeah, we could get an American on. Anyone can get an American on. We'll get an American on. If you're American and you want to be on Yes, How Can I Help? Yeah, just find us. We're in the same park as usual. There goes a doggy.
Loose doggy.
The year 2004, with the start of the TV show Lost, the launch of the Euro Millions lottery, and the re-election of George W. Bush was 21 years ago. Should that be allowed? Not really, but there's very little we can do about it. I do think that time is passing extremely quickly now, and I don't know whether anyone's checked that it's definitely still 60 minutes to an hour and still 24 hours to it, because I don't know how we'd know. They could easily be fobbing us off with 45 or 50 minutes in the hour, and unless you were monitoring it all like minute by minute, second by second, you wouldn't know. So it is allowed. We can't at the moment argue with it, but I do think somebody should be devoting themselves to doing nothing with their life but watching every single minute go by and timing it, just to make absolutely sure, because I do feel at some point we've been shortchanged some time. Who is more hungry, the very hungry caterpillar or the hungry hippos?
Oh.
Well, first of all, the hungry hippos were only known as one hungry hippos when I was growing up. The second hungry has been added for the American market for some reason. Ironically, as people in America generally not regarded as being as hungry as in other parts of the world. Time check, please, Alex. But also...
I was thinking about that.
Yeah, well, so was I.
Oh, we're way off. 3 minutes 40 left.
To go. There you go. Well, that can happen. Well, it has happened. But this is what I mean about time passing more. I do... something funny is going on with time.
You tell them.
The hungry hippos are hungrier than the very hungry caterpillar, because the very hungry caterpillar just eats absolutely all manner of shit, but then is sated and grows into a butterfly, of course. So apologies for spoilers if you've not read the book yet. Whereas the hungry hippos are are eternally hungry. No matter how many balls they guzzle, if I may use that phrase.
Oh.
I've had to use that phrase.
Oh.
There's always another game of hungry hippos. You never open the box of hungry hippos and the hippos go, nah, I'm good, thanks, I ate recently. So the hunger of hungry hippos is the ultimate form of hunger, a hunger which exists as a primordial state, which cannot be rectified, which renews itself every time you put the lid back on the box. If rats pulling your hair make you an excellent chef, a reference to the movie Ratatouille, of course, what rodents would improve other parts of life? Not everyone knows this, but the novelist Charles Dickens had a funny little mouse in his pants, and that's how he was able to write such long books. There's some sort of work going on over there. Other novelists have experimented with secreting mice about themselves, but they've never been as productive as was Dickens. Here's a question. Thank you for beginning with here's a question.
Yeah, just to clarify.
Like your own.
So that is, we don't know for sure that that's someone from No, I Can't Help It. It certainly is some sort of rival YouTube series. You can hear how loudly and aggressively she was talking. Advert there for a fun fair.
Wait, we're not going to reveal where we are.
I suppose not. No.
They all know.
Yeah, they all know. Look, I love a fun fair. Up on the Ferris wheel, bang on the dodgems, banging on the dodgems.
No, let's not bang on the dodgems.
You may not bang on the dodgems. Here's a question. What's your? You looking at the time again? Yeah. Don't you worry about it. I got this. Okay. What's your favourite word that ends in stir? So obviously, quite a lot of candidates and more foliage here. And let's go bang into that.
I'm just gonna walk through that.
I think sequester is an interesting candidate.
Ooh, sequester is good.
It's not bad, is it? Fester has got sort of a satisfying musical word. I'm delighted to say the winner is lobster, and my son, until he was quite old, used to say lompster. He thought the word was lompster. I never corrected him because it was really nice.
You can't, can you?
No, you can't. I miss him saying it lompster. Can somebody tell if I'm wearing a bra when they hug me? Yes, they can.
Especially if you keep hooking them. Come on.
Yes, yeah. Or especially if you sort of jiggle about during the hug, for want of a better phrase again. I have tried to learn juggling, but I'm awful at it. What would be the next best thing after juggling that would impress people, but also be achievable? There's an easy fix for this. Just do the bit of juggling where you throw the balls in the air, but don't bother trying to catch them or shift them between your hands, because almost anyone can do that. And when someone says, aren't you meant to catch them as well? Just say, like, I'm working on that. Or say, this is deconstructed juggling, or some sort of thing like that. Should I go and see Tim Key's new film, The Ballad of Wallace Island, at the end of May? Or is he getting, if anything, too successful these days? No, I think Tim is about the right level of success and deserves it. That's time, very quickly though. Has anyone ever bought a DFS sofa at full price? Yes. The first sofa sold by DFS, it's a bit like how expensive computers or microwave ovens were in the early days. It sold for £3 billion, and that's why DFS have been able to discount their sofas ever since.
They're still riding off that high.
Exactly.
The new DFS first ever sale.
Thank you. There's the shard again, just in case anyone was thinking this is all very well, but where is a pointy landmark when you need one? It's been lovely to be back answering your questions. What I'm now going to ask you to do is, and it's not exactly my first time using this phrase, you can do that in a variety of ways. The simplest way is to simply affirm that you are interacting with the content, which you can do in the comments, but what's the best form of interaction really is to ask another question. We'll be taking questions for another episode. Well, we are always in the process of taking questions, as much as our enemies would like to shut us down. So if you have any question on any aspect of human existence, put it in the comments here. You can also use Blue Sky or Instagram or there goes a man with a wheel. So that shows what can happen. It has been a long pause, so we will be anxiously awaiting your feedback on this episode. Thank you once more for joining us for the return of Yes, How Can I Help? I'm Mark Watson. This was Alex Preston.
Also, speaking of the shard, This is an account as a magician at the pub that I go to sometimes, and he's on top. He said he's on top of the world, and it's just him on the show.
Well, that's silly, isn't it? Okay, thanks everyone.